So I'd like to call the Tuesday, December 17th meeting of the planning board to order. If there's anyone recording in the audience other than LCAT, could you please let us know for the record?
Sarah Heenan, Reminder newspaper.
And how are you recording the meeting? Okay. A roll call. We'll do it individually like Russ does.
Ray Punderson.
Bill Fonseca.
Cassandra Sherris-Willow.
Rob Terrell.
All right. So moving on to the administrative tasks, the approval of the meeting minutes. The first one is November 19th, 2024. Is there any discussion on this one? My note is that if you read the numbers for the votes where it says like the motion carried. So for instance, 4A, it says like Sandra Schussel motion to endorse the plan, Rob Terrell seconded, the motion carried by vote 5, and then in parentheses it says 4. All those numbers are incorrect. They should be 5. So.
Okay, I can go back and update all of those.
We have a motion to approve the notes otherwise.
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
No opposed, so that measure passes. Approval of the meeting minutes from December 3rd. Any notes on that one? No? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay. Do I have a second? I'll second. And all those in favor say aye.
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 Abstain.
And they abstain, so it's 2 abstentions and no, any nays? No. Okay, so that passes this one. Your turn.
Oh, yes. All right, public hearing, case SP 2024-10, request for amendment to special permit SP 2002-17 and subsequent amendment SP 2007-10 at 664 North Main Street, formerly 66 North Main Street, assessors parcel ID 1A-22-60, business zoning district, to allow for outdoor dining at Villa Napolitana, applicant Carmino Bonavita, 666 North Main Street, Long Meadow, Mass. 01028, continued from December 3rd, 2020.
Come on up. Come on up.
Good evening again. My name is Philip, for record, Philip D. Tech Landscape Architect, 5 Ridgewood Terrace, Spring, Massachusetts. Previously submitted plan. We're petitioning the board on behalf of Villa Napolitana for outdoor dining. The conditions. Water department, meeting requirements of the DPW. Meeting requirements, any requirements of the building department. And providing off-site or across the street valet parking spaces. And on the condition based on the rest of the board that the outdoor dining close at 10 p.m. I don't know if there were any other conditions, but that we're submitting that as you know, as per the previous discussions that we've had on this.
So we got the updated letter that we asked for, which goes to the 15 spots, so that puts you into the necessary. Now you have the necessary parking spots for the amount of seating that you. Is there any other comments from the public, because the public hearing is still open? No? So do I have a motion to close the public hearing then?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So that motion passes. So the public hearing is now closed. Is there any discussion from the board?
I'd just like to state that I've been brought up to speed on all this. I signed the papers today saying that I read everything. So I can vote tonight. I don't see anything wrong with this at all. It's 15 or more spaced spots, so that more than takes care of it.
It's a large spot. I drove by it. For me.
So do you want to read the conditions into the record? Yes, you have. Be clear.
So we'll read the new conditions to include or consider
But we should mention that we will be keeping the conditions from the existing SP 2022-17, SP 2023-15, and SP 2007-10.
One, applicant shall file this notice of decision with the Hampden County Registry of Deeds before issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Second, the applicant shall submit a plumbing fixture count required by 248 CMR to the building department in order to show compliance for adequate restroom use. This must be done before issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Three, the applicant shall apply for and be issued both a building permit for the deck and certificate of occupancy before usage of the outdoor dining area. Failure to do so will prohibit the use of the deck as an outdoor dining area. Or the applicant shall make and the requested changes to the parking area as required by the Department of Public Works and detailed in the marked up SP 2024-10 site plans with DPW comments dated 11/14/2024. This shall be completed before the use of the deck as an outdoor dining area. 5, the applicant shall coordinate with the Department of Public Works to have the water shut off valve box located before any permanent structure is in place. 6, the maximum number of seats shall be as follows: inside of the restaurant, 90 seats, outdoor dining area, 24 seats. 7, the hours of operation of the outdoor dining area shall be, is it 10 to 10?
I think whatever, well, for
Starting
the
at
board's
10?
discussion, what should the hours opening of the,
We had 10 closing, but what was the opening?
And that was not just serving at 10, but off the
is everyone off?
premise of the 10,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Off the outdoor, off the outside
I'm
dining.
just throwing, I don't know, put it out for discussion.
What did we do with previous ones, like when whatever their opening hour was?
What are the restaurant's hours? Do you know?
Typically, I think they open at 10. So
In the morning?
I don't see any,
like they do like a Sunday brunch. So that would be like 10 in the morning. So
I mean, after lunch, sitting out there, I mean, as you can see,
Can you-
afternoon meeting.
Tell us what we did for the other people on their opening one.
So I know you guys closed at 10 PM for the outdoor dining. I think typically for opening, it's just when the business opened. That's the impression I got.
And if we're gonna stay consistent, then I'm good with that.
That's why I feel.
Yeah.
What do we do for across the street?
Well, that's what I just asked.
Yeah.
He said he thinks, when would
When
they
we open,
open?
when the business opens.
It's open, that's fine.
Yeah.
Mostly the-
So you said the business opens at 10 AM, correct?
not sure about that. I can check.
We just put from opening hours until
Yeah, opening.
10 o'clock at night.
Oh, till-
Keep it simple.
Because I know there's a brunch there and if it's nice out on a Sunday,
Right.
why prohibit people from eating out there? Oh, yeah.
Such, yeah.
Yeah.
But no matter what, 10 PM is the close.
Yes.
Right.
Everybody off the deck by 10.
Vacated by 10.
Yeah, we agreed on that in our last meeting.
And just keep in mind, when we draft this decision for this permit, these conditions will be put in there and they'll be shared with yourself and with
Right.
your client.
Yes.
Is there anything else anyone would like to add? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the amendment
So move.
special permit with the conditions as Rob so graciously read into the record?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 There's no one against, so that passed. Also,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Easy peasy.
clerk, Mr. Clerk, where are we now?
Business, old business.
Yes, no new business.
A discussion on the proposed zoning amendment. Assisted living in the IGP zoning district.
Bill LaPlante Construction, 60. Long Meadow. So, last meeting I was in, submitting a proposed amendment to the existing schedule of use regulations for the industrial garden parkway, basically to take convalescent assisted living use classification to a special permit to the IGP. I currently own a piece of property there. And, we're looking to hopefully do a assisted living memory care facility there. We've submitted a packet. Rob, did the board get the information we sent out? Demonstrating the need in town for this. As you know, there are multiple facilities within that area. They're just over the line in the residential zone, so they're not obviously in the Industrial Garden Parkway. And I understand that, this would not just be for this parcel, and you have to look at it globally and see if it makes sense. That's why we felt putting it under special permit, it still gives this board the ability to look at each individual case and see if, a proposed project is appropriate for the location that they're proposing. So I don't know if you have any questions on it. Like I said, we submitted some information just showing the need, and the goal to let people age in their community. And there certainly is a demonstrated need. And as you know, population's getting older, and this is going to continue to present a need. So
I don't see any problem with it personally, especially under special permit. So, we're in the midst of zone changing, all sorts of stuff. Right? Everything's in flux, the center of town, all that stuff. And there's a need to get rid of the industrial zone, but the industrial garden park was made for a very specific reason. But under special permit and seeing the need for it, I see personally no problem. We just recommend up to the town council anyway, but I can see that would be something as a 73-year resident of East Long Meadow, those 77 million people. So I hope I don't need it, but it would be nice if somebody does need it, it's right here in town. And so family can be close to you and all that type of thing. So I look at it as a positive.
I echo Pete's statement, because you want to, as you grow older, you want to stay close to your family.
Yeah.
There is a need for it because there's a lot of, I don't want to say these facilities are overcrowded, but there is a definite need for expansion.
Plus from Long Meadow or, whatever,
Yeah.
it's pretty central. So,
yeah.
Tom?
And that's what all of our research is suggesting,
Right.
that there is a need. And
what room you want, Phil?
Well, I'll take one next to you.
That's my comment.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it as well.
So you guys have a choice. So they could take this amendment, just the one page with the zone change on the chart. So they could take it to town council themselves and propose the amendment as Bill Plant, the landowner, if you wanted to. Or the planning board could endorse it themselves and take it on as something that they're going to propose to town council. So it's up to you if you want to consider doing that. It doesn't really matter, but I figured, he's presenting it before you. You could either put your name on it or just have the applicant be the person that goes and is the proponent of the zone change.
Can we just recommend it?
You can. So usually I could maybe do a letter on your behalf if you authorize me to do so, just saying you support the amendment, and then have Mr. Plant as the property owner in that zone, the applicant. And then, it will come back to you for a public hearing in which you have to make another recommendation to town council. So we could definitely do that if that's what the board wants to do, but just figured, we have this discussion now and it seems like everybody's favorable. So if you'd like that to be the approach we do, we can definitely do that.
I like the letter approach,
That's-
because it's kind of, like you said, Rob, it's coming back to us.
Yep.
So at that point, we can decide if we want to present it back to the council or how we want to move forward. But at this point, recommending it to the council, I think would be a letter on our behalf.
Okay. And just keep it, in the record that the amendment's coming from a property owner
Correct.
in town
Correct.
who owns property in that zone. The planning board's just going to submit a letter of recommendation that it should move forward to
that
town
would be
council.
great. And I don't know if any of you have any suggestions on additional information, you'd like to see or any.
Experience with it at
No
all,
experience.
personally.
There's a lot here.
Very good report. And then just keep in mind, once it goes to town council, once you go to town council, that starts the public hearing process. That means you have to come back to us again and then do a public hearing with town council, and then they get to adopt it later on. So.
So do we vote on that then?
So you have to
Better recommendation?
get the vote to authorize me to write the memo on your behalf. That's pretty much it. So.
So moved.
There a motion? Okay. Is there a second?
Second. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Cool.
Any opposed?
Good.
No. Passes.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. Take care.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk?
Other business, planning and community development directors report.
For a quick meeting. So I have the list of meeting dates for the new year. If you want to get those in your calendar. Same schedule, although this coming year, we're not going to have as many canceled meetings as we did this year because it's not really an election year for the state. So the only meeting I believe we're going to be missing is Thanksgiving, and that's pretty much it. So just some updates on the public hearings before town council and us. So we continued the accessory dwelling unit public hearing to January 7th, 2025. And executive session. So it was requested by the town manager, Tom Christensen, to hold an executive session on that same meeting date, January 7th, 2025. So just keep in mind that's going to be on the agenda for that meeting coming up. Just a heads up. So I keep bringing these up every meeting, the CPTC trainings. Town management decided that I should just attend these meetings and then get the recordings afterwards and then send them to you guys if you want to review them in your own time. Just because it's easier to do it that way. You can watch the hour-long video clip on these different topics, which includes site plan review, special permits and variances, and then writing reasonable and defensible decisions. So I'll attend all those. I could send you the recordings just so you can watch in your own time.
All right.
Probably the best way to do it. And then planning department projects and updates. So this is where I gave you the updates on the zoning amendments before the council. So the first one's commercial kenneling. The town council did vote to adopt this proposed bylaw at their December 10th, 2024 meeting. So you would probably expect the proponent to come back for a special permit at some point. The solar bylaw amendments, the town council at that same meeting did vote to continue this to January 28th of 2025 because the Planning and Matter Subcommittee is still discussing an updated version within their deliberations. So that's when it's going to come back before the town council. And then last bit of news that I have in other news. So the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities finally issued draft guidelines for their accessory dwelling unit regulations. So this isn't like a draft bylaw that communities can use. This is like their own regulations at the state level. So what they're doing is they're giving it to the communities to review, and we're allowed to bring feedback and comments to them. I did notice some areas that seemed pretty vague, and I highlighted those comments. So I was going to bring those comments, which we can start submitting on December 20th of 2024 until January 10th of 2025. So I was going to submit those comments, which pertain to some vagueness in terms that they're using. They're not very long. They're only like a few pages worth of regulations, just to get clarity. And there is one area where it sounds like pretty much everything you can't do way more intensively than you would for a single family home. So for example, setbacks, regulations for utility connections, where it can be on a property, etc. But there was a few areas where the language wasn't clear. So that's what I'm going to bring to them when I do my comments.
So Rob, did you say there's different qualifications for setbacks with these?
So basically you can't be more restrictive than what's already allowed for a single family home.
Yeah, okay.
So you can go up to that.
Yeah.
So if you have a 50-foot setback from the front, you can require that for an accessory dwelling unit as well.
So we have some sort of control over the deal then.
We do. And town manager was pretty, he was happy with the way they wrote the regulations because they essentially said, because, yeah, it's an accessory building, but it's still a dwelling unit. People are living there and it's going to be treated as a separate household on the same property. So we have the ability to regulate like we would for a regular single family home is basically what they're telling us at the state level.
Yeah, we're not reinventing the wheel here.
No, we're not. And there was just a few areas that are not, I don't have them on top of my head, where some of the terms that they were using was a little bit confusing. So I'm going to ask them for clarification on those things when I submit my comments to them.
All right.
Did they put in their driveways and all that type of stuff? And
They did not.
they didn't see that.
But if it's already something that's allowed for a single family home, you can require it. So for example, if the town feels that they need another driveway entrance for an ADU, they can absolutely make that requirement.
Okay,
But it sounds like that may not be the case for this town. One driveway per lot seemed to be the attitude from our last hearing on this. And again, the regulations themselves aren't very specific. They're very vague. They kind of gave you parameters that you can make your own rules within, but there were a few things that still seem kind of confusing to me. So hopefully they give us good feedback when I submit these comments to them. And there's also a public hearing on the 10th of January as well, before them to adopt these regulations. So I plan on attending that virtually so I can just sit there and listen and see what they discuss and what comes out of it. So obviously when that happens, I'll come back to you guys with updates so you know and can stay in the loop on that. But other than that, that's pretty much all I had for my report.
it's a pretty egregious law.
I mean, it's very, I would say it's very earth shattering. That's
Especially when you look at all the stuff, the way we try to make, have the town look and the setting and so forth, all of a sudden have all this other stuff going on.
I think the biggest thing for me is that the owner occupancy thing, just getting rid of that altogether.
Yeah,
I could see that being problematic down the road.
yeah.
Very problematic.
Because every town that has them requires at least one building be owner occupied.
Mhm.
That's just something to look forward to. So yeah, that's all I had. And please carry on.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.